Hi, special friends. It's your friendly psychotic NB, CS Het. I don't really think anyone's gonna be listening to this, but I just felt like talking. I haven't been drawing many cartoons lately. In case you haven't noticed, there's a current genocide against my community, against the trans community, and honestly, genocide just doesn't really pump the creative juices. But it did get me thinking of, among all things, raw milk. So rewind 10 years ago, and I was a hippie I've worked on a couple farms out in Northern California, and, the barefoot and drinking raw milk lifestyle. I'm embarrassed to say it, but, that's part of my past. And when I was doing it, when I was involved with it, it was mostly small farmers, and it was a really granola, crunchy, left-leaning crowd. It was mostly people who wanted food sovereignty, they wanted to produce their own food, they wanted the government to butt out, and they wanted to be able to trade with their neighbors, and it was really more about food security and community building. Not to say that it was right. Once I got all the information about the dangers of raw milk and the fact that there's really no health benefit to it, I stopped drinking it. And I revisited that community recently, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? It looks completely different. It's all right-wingers and maha and for-profit, personal wellness and beauty. It's all over the internet. It's all over TikTok and Instagram, and it just looks absolutely, the raw milk movement looks absolutely nothing like it used to. And I think that's kind of when I realized what was going on. Right-wingers are not creative at all. They can't even be bothered to come up with their own culture. This is why straight pride and white pride events are just so awful. They have no culture or creativity to speak of, and so what they do is they steal things from other cultures and other groups, right? And then pass it off as their own. So they'll take things like raw milk, or even they'll take, Native American regalia or Black Southern Creole food, and then they market it for themselves. They make money off of it. They influence others, and it's completely based off of stolen ideas. 100%. These are, they're stealing ideas from other cultures. Even the trans content that they're putting out right now isn't even that creative when you really think about it. They basically monetized us without our permission, which I count as stealing. They set trans people up as the bad guys, or girls, and they go on their podcasts, and their politicians go on their pundits and talk about how awful we are and how dangerous we are to children and that we're groomers and pedophiles, and they're completely stealing our existence and monetizing it without our consent. And, as an educator, as somebody who has spent most of my career working with youth and young adults, I can't say I'm particularly amused that they're calling me and people like me pedophiles. It tends to make it harder for someone like myself to secure gainful employment, which is an obvious problem. What I've also come to realize is these assholes, and that's what I'm calling them, they're operating in kind of a niche in free speech law, where essentially if they were to say, oh, CS Het is a pedophile and is dangerous to children, I could sue for defamation, right? That's not protected speech. But they could say transgender people are pedophiles and dangerous to children, and CS Het is a transgender person. So they could say that, and that's okay, apparently. It kind of feels like they found out that there's a lot of money to be had in trashing trans people online and in public, and not even just money, but political power and influence. And it feels like everyone with a failing career, political, entertainment, or otherwise, has just completely jumped on the bandwagon. So what this tells me is that the social contract of, being kind to each other has been torn up. Which means for me, the social contract is also torn up. Which means part of me feels like I need to start animating these motherfuckers and putting them in my cartoon. You think I was bad to Dr. Phil? Honey, wait till you see what I do to Charlie Quark.